Greetings, gamers, and welcome back to the Art of Rust Tour. I'm your host, Vortex, and today we are joined by a very special guest. Today I have Freeman here, who has decided to let us know what goes on inside his mind and how he thinks. Plus, we're also going to see what his build idea was for January 2026. Freeman, thank you so much for joining me today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Is my mic working here properly?
Hey, you're coming in fine.
Actually, where's my mic? I thought you'd have a bigger staff, but yeah, you run very minimalistic.
You know, it's with all the budget cuts. I mean, it's hard times right now. If you can't find your microphone, remember it's under your lapel. It's right there in the collar. You know, it's a very tiny mic. There you go.
Apologies. Yes. Okay. All right. So about myself. Well, I purchased Rust in 2023, and that's when I started playing. So maybe more about myself. I don't know. I'm from Australia. Um, I've been drawing all my life, and yeah, so my journey to Rust was my most recent endeavor in art. I take it, I guess you could say. Um, yeah,
When did you join AOR?
um, that is a difficult thing for me to answer. So, as far as I remember, it was in about October last year, September, October last year. That's when I did my first. September was when I did my first wipe. On here where I'd had a build that was on the tour. I may have been here the month before, but I actually found that I already had stuff in my backpack, so I must have been here on a previous month as well. So I used to jump around different servers and stuff. So, but I'd been watching Will Jim on YouTube videos, which is what got me into Rust in 2023 in the first place. And then I saw as seems to be lots of people's story. I saw Monstera on a video of him doing some artwork, and she told everyone about obviously about Art of Rust, and that's when I then so it must have been midway through last year that I first came here. I think that's yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of people that came here from either William or Monstera, and they've definitely expanded the population here quite a bit, but for all the good reasons. And I think there's been a lot of positivity and a lot of good things.
Um, I also I guess like about me. So I've played I used to play Counter-Strike. I'm a sort of a one game player, I guess, not quite, but sort of a lot. So I played Counter-Strike for many years since it actually began, and I also played Half-Life before that, which was where my obviously my name comes from. And yeah, so I used to like to. Then I started to go into games where I like the building. So I did played Subnautica, Valheim, and I was just sort of I enjoyed those games. But then when I started to see this, actually watched the videos for some time before I actually bought the game. Yeah, and then when I came on here, I decided I was going to change my gaming style. So I decided to become well, for the most part, a dedicated Rust pacifist. So I used to play on vanilla servers, not being aware there was anything else. And yeah, and I used to just run around building bases, using all the new mechanics as they were invented, like the farms and the electricity and the furnaces and painting little pictures and stuff in there. So in between getting murdered and raided and sort of been on the end of some of the colorful banter that you find in public Rust. Yeah, I used to try and create something in the middle, and I made it my mission to not respond in kind with violence. So it just gave me a different play style, and actually found a lot of people responded to that, and eventually they'd stop murdering you for the most part, and so you could actually yeah. So I had a good time doing that, but then coming here, that was opened up a whole new world for me.
Yeah, I'm impressed with I've been on a lot of creative and a lot of PvE servers, and this is the only one I've seen successful at converting people who initially come here to disrupt that and then decide to stay for the pacifism. It's unique, I think, not only to this server, but it is something that's unique to not very many servers, right? Is the idea that you can take the people who came here wanting to be a menace and now they stay because they actually enjoy, not having to deal with all of that.
Well, I think this is this is the first server that I've found where people are actively encouraging players to find a different playstyle. I've played on PvE where obviously you can't fight each other, and yet people still try to people still get a bit angry with each other for some reason. But yeah, on here there's actually not just encouraging people to have different playstyles, but you actually have people encouraged to try art. And so in the short time that I've been here, it's the uh, it's it's the first. It's interesting to see people who haven't said that they've never drawn before who start to create art. So I mean, from an artist's perspective, that's pretty impressive that you're bringing people into the artistic world and getting to express themselves in an enduring way through art.
I couldn't agree more. Before you mentioned coming here because you wanted a change in style of play style and all of that, and then you came here and continued to grow with that. I'm curious, what type of creative on AOR would you say? Or are you more of the builder type or are you more of the artistry type?
I don't think I define myself. Probably I could exclude myself from the singing type. I think no one wants that.
Makes sense.
Um, yeah, no one wants that. So hmm, well, so I definitely came into it with the artist type of creative, but even through vanilla, I used to enjoy building what they call scuffed bases, so that people would often not raid them because they thought they looked weird and sort of bulky and poor. Um, sometimes sort of a art base. So in a way, I guess I was sort of doing some creative builds for a particular purpose. But what I really enjoy doing now is, I guess I almost equally enjoy um, builds that support art or art that supports build. So in my current build, I've got, actually I didn't even count them. So I've probably got like about 100 different signs that I've made throughout the thing. So everything I hand draw, except that some of the signs I will use the what's it called, paint.net, to put some of the words on there. So some of the words I don't hand draw. I use the, sort of typing in the letters. So like block 1, block 2, that sort of stuff. And not because I'm proud of that, just because for time constraints, I think I would have spent the entire wipe just making the signs. Otherwise,
And I would say there's also there's also a lot of value in the fact that it is a highlight. It is not you passing it off as, well, here's an entire thing I did. It's just a small bit to get the full point across. I feel that there's a fine line, especially on a server full of creatives, but that's one of those gray areas that I don't feel violates anything. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's anything I'm concerned about personally.
no, not yet. But it's just a I guess it's just a personal thing for myself. That's all. I do enjoy. I feel like sort of art gives you time to sit there and create, and doesn't have to be a rush in time unless you're challenging yourself to paint in time, I guess. Um, but so I kind of just enjoy doing that creation. But yeah, I didn't want it this time because the 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 build that I've made, the college, it's sort of, I like the idea of having all those signs. It just makes it look more collegial, I guess. Mm.
Yeah, I agree. It's just yeah, it's fast. It's always fascinating to see what people do in a server like this when it's not just dedicated to one type of expression. And that's what I think I like the most, and why I started this series is just to show off how many different ways people can express themselves. Um, Speaking of which, I'm dying to get to the point where we get to finally see your base too, because I know that that's kind of a big deal for everybody watching. Is what did you build this month? So if you want to join me in the heli, I'd love to learn what your ideas were for this month, what you decided to build. And yeah, definitely let us know why you chose the specific spot you did. Um, that's always, I
Okay.
think,
So just sit here.
yeah, please. Um,
Is there a seat? Is there a seatbelt in this?
no, unfortunately, you're just gonna have to hold on. You can keep your hands and legs wherever you want, but the butt must stay in the seat.
Okay. All right. I guess I do have the full damage skill tree thing, so I should be okay.
Don't worry, I only crashed 3 times yesterday.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right.
It's a record.
Yeah. No, I should be fine. I'll just try not to scream continuously. That's all, because that could be
And
disadvantage.
just before we take off, give me the location of your base, and is there a particular direction you want us to fly in from?
Uh, the location of the base is H25. Um, and no, I don't have a particular direction. No, I don't think so. No, you could come in from the ocean if you want, because then I can show you where I was going to build first if you want to. But yeah, no.
All right, sounds good to me. Let's go ahead. But yeah, definitely let us know what your idea was for this month. Did you follow the academia theme or did you go your own route?
But very simply, I had, because I've got about 100 different build ideas in my head. But what I did was I challenged myself because I like the theme idea. I said, whatever the theme is when it's announced, whatever I think of first, I'm going to build it. So I did, and I wish that I'd thought of a smaller thing like when I was growing up, I was in a primary school with 20 kids, which had 2 buildings. That would have been fantastic to think of that, but I didn't think of that till later on. So I thought of a. Can I say yet what it is, or do you want to wait for the visual first?
That's up to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I I built I was going to build a university, but there was be potential issues with the acronym, so I went for a college instead, a college of arts.
I couldn't imagine what problem there would be for Freeman University. I mean, it sounds like perfect, right? Freeman University. What could possibly go wrong? Just get those letters on your jacket. A big F-O. All right, so we should be coming up to the ocean entrance, I believe.
There may be a technical.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman.
So just to the right here, I was looking for somewhere with a hill, just a little bit further to the right. I was looking for a hill, and there was a space here where I started to build, and it wasn't quite enough space to my right there. So yeah, just over there. Anyway, so I was looking for somewhere with a cliff. I don't even remember why now. And then I walked around down the river a bit more, and as you can see it loading in, that's where I started to build. I built where the big tree is in the center of the square to the right there is where I started, and I built around. That's a nature marker tree, but I built around that, and then built the buildings across the water after that, and that's where you have the college. So the white building below us there is the aquatic center, where there's a full pool and chairs for viewers. I've made a sign on the wall to make it look like there's a snack bar and little tables and stuff. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything particularly like a wow factor. I've just tried to make it detailed, which sort of is its own thing. The buildings behind that are like student dormitories. On the top of the roof there's like a hangout area. There's a games room in this little building straight below us, in between the aquatic center there. Around that's block H is the student dormitories there. Around to the right, there's the humanities block. There's 4 classrooms in there. Across the water, we have on the far left, we have the big building is the library, with another classroom just below that. You can look at the one straight in front of us here. You can actually look in the window there if you want. Is the auditorium. So there's a stage and seating, and there's possibly someone playing a piano in there. Is that you?
That is not me.
Oh, that's Ikasu. Ikasu. He's playing the piano. He's a wonderful musician, Ikasu. Very nice voice too. Well acclaimed.
I got to listen to Akasu serenade Green Man the other day.
Yes, he was very well received there. So that's the auditorium in there. Then we have at the back there, that C block is a bit of silliness. There's a professor in there that's a horse, and there's just a computer classroom where I've sort of made little. Oh, you can see through the window there. There you go. I've made little computer stations and stuff in there. The big block at the back there is teachers' offices and the lounge for the teachers. You can see the different offices there.
You say it's not been like major, but the attention to detail, and I did a flyover tour of the whole server. I think one of the first things I said about this place is it reminds me immediately of a college campus. Like the layout, the way it feels, and the way you just run around it. It does bring me back to my college days.
Somebody actually told me that when they first came here, it gave them a bit of a trigger, that they felt that they mightn't have had a good experience at college, and it sort of it made them feel that again. So to feel better about that. That's the administration block, where there's a security office, an admin office, reception just down there. The building on the right is just a bit of is my little space where I've got some of the paintings I was given. There's a agricultural science block just there with planters, and there's a classroom down the bottom and a cafeteria, and the trees and stuff there to the right. I just had a few entities left, so I wanted to try out something, so I did a forest walk where you just walk through. When you walk in, it triggers some sort of fog machines, so it gives you a bit of a misty walk as you walk through, just for a bit of a vibe, I guess. So yeah. But there's also lots of other little things throughout there, and in the square there, if you can go forward a bit and do a 180. I'm not sure if you can see the wall in the square. There's a couple of big signs there that have just on the same level as the tree. Yeah, you can see them there. So there's a lost and found board. Another thing I like to do is, I know people like to engage in, like as in art, they like to engage in buildings in different ways. So I made it enough things that people can kind of just run around at full speed and see different stuff. But if you wanted to have a different engagement, there's a few different things on that lost and found board. Like there's a missing chicken and the missing mascot, and someone's friend's gone missing. Someone lost their textbook. Just on that, yeah, lost and found there. So people can actually go and look for those things. They can take a photo, put it in the box, and up in the I've got an art gallery in the top floor of this building, where you can actually get your name on the board by finding all the lost and found things. So I just thought that I'm just trying to think of different ways to engage people with a building without it being too much.
I really love the map too, like the actual way to get yourself around looks nice.
Well, like so many things on this server, you can get inspiration from anybody. This is what I love about this server, is that the art, just anybody's art can inspire anybody's art. It doesn't matter what style of art or what you do, but yeah. So in this case, obviously, I saw the maps at town that the admins had done, and the admins had done the art. So I the maps. So I yeah, it made me think, oh, that would actually work perfectly for a college campus to have a "you are here" sort of a situation. Yeah. So I just yeah, this is I think what is it? Pablo Picasso said. Now I'm not going to remember the rest of the quote. The first bit he said, which everyone remembers, is "art is alive," but it's up to us to interpret the truth that's given to us. And I think that's one of the things I enjoy about art, and I enjoy about this server, is that I can sort of have an interactive experience with other people. I can see other people's vision through their art. And one of the things I really love to do is my art will often change according to what happens around me or what people say. So I'll you know, sometimes my art doesn't end up being what it was going to be, because someone will say something or do something and I'll go, oh wow, and then suddenly my paintings or my drawings sort of end up reflecting the experiences that I've had. So hopefully that's something I can share with other people as well.
I love that. So do you have any, as we get out of here, do you have any major plans for next wave? I know we don't have the theme just yet, but any ideas or any plans that you intend to enact?
I have this I can tell you a few. So I've got this enduring idea to do something small and spacey. So maybe a little spaceship, not very big. But what I really want to do, I've done a lot of on staging branch. I played around with the paintable windows. So I'm pretty sure that somewhere in my build, even if I do a second build, will be some sort of a tower with as many paintable windows as possible. Because I really want to push to see what I can imagine doing with the stained glass windows. So maybe some sort of a tower on the cliff of the ocean somewhere, especially if there's some sort of naval stuff involved. So
I'm very excited to see what people do with the windows. I have a very basic idea with what I'm going to do with them, but I'm very excited to see what everyone comes up with.
yeah, well, I did a lot of stained glass stuff, but as I did that, it occurred to me that you can make them completely opaque or you can make them translucent. So even just the idea of what happens to light when it gets, you know, directed against those windows, what happens on the other side. Didn't try that, so yeah.
So many things to test.
Yep. Not to mention the whole rest of the pack as well, but yeah. So it's going to be exciting, very exciting.
You have any plans for the naval update?
No. I haven't. No, actually, I don't, because it hasn't. Thus far, it hasn't inspired me. So I'm sure it will, but at the moment, I think I might have to see other people's. Might have to see other people's inspirations.
Yeah, I'm hoping the building experience will be, a positive one. I don't know if it's just going to be basic base building on the water or if it's actually going to feel like building an actual ship. So I'm hopeful but cautious.
I am interested in what the deep sea means. That's I've seen on there where you can go to the deep sea, which is an area outside the grid. So I wonder if those motorboats with the scientists will be patrolling. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I've read a little bit on their constant adjustments of those, but it sounds like they've come to something that they are comfortable with. So yeah, I'm curious how difficult it will be, how much it will be worth it, because you have to sail out there and then load the whole new map, but you can only be there for a certain amount of time. I'm just hoping that it won't be one of those, it's great for 2 months and then nobody uses
Mm. Well, I guess, I mean, if it's a new source of blueprints, and one of the things that I hear people say is how it's hard to get blueprints at first, maybe that'll give people another reason to go out there. Is it maybe if there's too many people running monuments, it might be easier to go to sea and get them instead, perhaps. I don't know.
I mean, that does make sense. There's plenty of people who already do like ocean scrubbing on a, paddle boat and just go out there because nobody else takes to the water. So that's fair. There are plenty of opportunities, I think, to be fair. But I hope that it's going to be worth the time. And I don't, instead of just being like, yeah, but in the same time, I could just do big and small oil and get the same loot. That's my hope, is that it's worth all of the extra effort and not just a novelty.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be. They've been Facepunch have been doing this for 13 years now, so I guess they seem to be good at pivoting when an idea can use tweaking. So
I mean, that's fair. They have proven time and again they listen to their audience and they give good stuff. They do very well at what they do. So I shouldn't really be that cautious of it. I just, I have high hopes and I don't want to give them up. So it's more of I'm going to restrain myself from having too high of hopes until I see it.
Yeah. No, that's good. Very, very good.
Well, I do want to thank you again, Freeman, for joining me today. I really do appreciate all of your insights to your base and your methodology. I'm really hoping to see what you do next month with everything. I know that there's a lot dropping, but stained glass windows, I will be definitely looking out for whatever it is that you do. And if you ever want to come back and do another interview or a base flyover, I would be very happy to have you back. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do you have anything else to say to the audience before we go?
No, thank you for having me, and just anyone who is thinking about picking up a virtual paintbrush who hasn't done before, this is the best place to do it, I think, in my opinion. So there you go.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you again so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Wisely done, Mr. Freeman. I will see you up ahead.